Okie dokie. It's time to go. More StoneBlock 2. What? Okay, we're going to go back into our single player world, or Twitch world. I've done nothing since the last time I streamed, so you're not missing anything yet. And load up world. Let's do it. Oh. There we go. How come I can't see me playing this? It was on there. Window capture maybe? There we go. Take your time, Minecraft. Just take your time. Well, what the heck? Okay, hold on. Ermagerd back. Okay. Back to game. Hello. Ah, a little bit of water there. Welcome back again, everybody. Let's see here. Is my... Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. And I've got my little fire going. Okay. How do I get rid of my latest death? I don't want to see that. Map? No. Oh, no, that's not it. Is it P? No. Y? There we go. Waypoint latest death. I'm going to just disable you. And good. Oh, perfect. So the last time we were in, we were looking for a... make sure we got our chicken here. We were looking for... I'm going to plant you. Hello, chicken. What do you call those things? A ender pearl. We need an ender pearl so we can make a vacuum hopper. And let's just go ahead and go. Oh. You know what I am going to do? Stop. Oh, I see it. Oh, drop it. Drop it. Drop your ender pearl. Oh, you're going to do it to me again, aren't you? I'm going to try. Let's see, I don't want to use you. That party pick is too serious. Okay. So let's sword you first. Hello, sword. You're way up there. Oh, I see it. Perfect. Ha 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 ha. Okay. So now I'm going to pickaxe this. Okay. Ender pearl. Perfect. Ender pearl. Hi, Lulu. Hi, Lulu. My cat Lulu is on the desk. Okay, so we're going to put you back here. And we're going to put you back there. And then you can go there. Okay, now we're ready to rock and roll because I think all we need is the one ender pearl to make a... Oh, a bowl. Hey. That's kind of cool. I don't really need you at all. I am going to make a... I'm going to make me a... hold on. I need to... Ooh. Can I refresh page? Here. Refresh. I need to make another chest, I think. And there's some experience. There's my reinforced conversion kit. I need wood. I gotta remember where everything is in here. Oh, there's 2 chests right there. So let's take these 2 chests and we'll put them for now. Why do I have chests if I've got all this? Yeah. So let's do this. Let's go boom, and boom, and boom, and poop, and boom. I don't really want the rice seeds or the slime balls or that. I'll keep my cookie apple and my ender pearl. And do I need anything else? I got the stick. I'll put lamp, flint, and steel, such as let's just put you entity detector there, and you go there. And you can come with me. I don't know why I'm carrying arrows if I'm not going to carry a bow with me. And so I don't need you. Okay. Get ourselves organized here a little bit. Okay. Ender pearl, so I want a vacuum absorption hopper. That's what I want. Hello. You are what I want in life, most of all. So I know I have some hoppers. I don't have any obsidian. And I need a bucket. 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 I need a bucket. I need a bucket. And we'll put them in there. So that's 1. And 2. And perfect. And what did I do with the hoppers? There you are. Merry Christmas to me. I have a hopper. And I'm missing an Eye of Ender. So do I have... is it over here? Is it up here now? Yes. I can make an Eye of Ender very easily. Now we can make this. Boing. And then that's going to go to a chest. With an item duct. And I am not seeing the thing I most desire in life right now. A chest. Chest. And an item duct. And... no. 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 Did I put my storage drawers in here? Yes, I did. I did not want you. Go back there. I want you. So then, we're also going to create in addition to the storage drawers, impulse item duct, vacuum item duct. No, that's not what I want. I want a filter. Filter options to blacklist. And I want a trash can. How do I get a trash can? Not trash void. Is it trash chest? Trash can. Okay. Oh. And I want... Can I make one? I suppose I can. But now I need another chest. Which I've forgotten where I put it. Okay, there you are. And then... Oh! Hello, Grandma. We have... sheep and pigs. And there's another chicken. Okay, that's good. Sheep will give us wool and or lamb chops. Okay, so I've got that. I need another controller. So, how do we make a controller? Controller. Screen controller, drawer controller. Drawer controller. I need another redstone comparator, and I don't remember. Oh yeah, I do remember. So I need 2 more. I don't have a. Oop! I'm gonna have to go. Okay, I have 1. So I need. Witch water and. I've forgotten everything. I've forgotten all the things. Fluid block transformer, sand, witch water, stone barrel, and soul sand. Okay. So then bucket. And I have 1 sand left. What? Is it that? Yep. And then what? Okay. And then nice. Okay, so now I need my redstone torches, which I put somehow. Oh my gosh. Like, I can't even begin to describe how unorganized I am right now. Redstone torches. I need redstone. I need... Why do I have a... Why is there a skelly in there? Dude, you should not be spawning in there. Okay, redstone. Redstone. Oh my gosh. There we go. So redstone torches, I need 6 of them. And I'm almost out of redstone. I'm gonna have to get the sand going here pretty soon. So then we do bloop, bloop, and boom, 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 boom. I just needed 6. I don't know why I have 8. 2 comparators. And controller goes dual controller, and I need diamond and more stone. Have I stone anywhere? I have no stone. I will have to boil up some stone. And I was coming over here for what reason? For what purpose? A diamond. A diamond! Okay, am I still... So I'm barely moving along here. So I should turn you back on, correct? There we go. Good. You're filling up. Okay. So, drawer controller. Drawer controller, take 2. Boom. Boom. Okay, and then I need a what the heck? Okay. Why does it look like there is an entity there? Is there an entity there? No. And you're going to be lost forever because I'm not going to replace you. Let's go ahead and get... Well, you'll be lost until I put the absorption hopper in. Okay, now we're going to do it. Water. Ah. Water. Take my map back up to normal. I need a... What are these things called? Servo. I need a servo. All I want in life is a servo. So iron nugget. How do I do this with that? Invar. Okay, so I've got redstone. I should have iron and glass. You're not iron. Are you iron? Yep. And I should have... Yep. Iron nugget there. And glass. Oh my gosh, this is insane. How can it be? Okay. So iron nugget, glass, redstone, servo. And then that in an Invar nugget. I swear I saw Invar. Invar. Are you Invar? No, you're not Invar. You look like Invar, but you're not. I have no Invar. I have no Invar. So the reason why I want Invar is because it'll go a little bit faster. So let's go to casting that, alloying, 2 molten iron to 1 nickel. Nope, I don't have any up there either. So 4 to 2 should give me 6 total. Come on. Come on, let's do it. And boom, 6 ingots, yeah. Okay. Okay. Here we go. We're doing it. We're gonna do it. Let's do it, do it, do it, do it. Okay. And I'm not gonna worry about a Signalium servo because I honestly don't care about that. But let's do... Okay, so let's first of all, let's take care of our hunger needs. Very good. Cooked apples are great. We love them. So let's do a drawer controller here. We'll do... You come with me. Okay. Should be enough to get us going. Plus, we're going to put the trash can. Yeah. And we'll put the chest. Yeah. And we'll put the hopper. Well, let's put the... Okay. Put you here and turn you on. And then we'll put the filter here. Prevent oversending, blacklist. You know what I'm gonna do? Let's do this. Let's just send everything into here. And we will take you out for now. Let's put you in here. Put you on here. So let's do down. Show the area. Okay, so you are okay. And okay. That should take care of everything. So hide area. Okay, took care of that. So let's do... Why, you know, give me... Do I not do a chest here? I thought you connected to chests. Oh, that's how we do it. So down is item. You're on. You're on. Uncommon loot crate. Oh, and because I'm dumb, I did not do this. So let's do this. Here we go. Okay, so now you're pulling out. Snowball. Common loot crate. Where's that uncommon loot crate? Okay, let's check the common loot crates, shall we? Bam's pineapple pizza. That's good for food. A chiseled bit bag, a resonating, and 3 ender pearl, and a water bucket. Nice. So let's do this. We'll just take and now we just have a regular bucket and a chiseled bit bag. Can go in here. A resonating redstone crystal can go in here. You can go back in here. You can go in here. Lou. You're very annoying. Oh my gosh. Lou, shut up. Okay, we'll put you there for now. I know this isn't going to be right, but that's what we're going to do. Now, I need to upgrade the Monster Masher. So, mob... spawning... No. Why? Well, why did I do that? Mob... There we go, thank you. So, chicken feed, imaginary not here, sword, mob fan, sharpness, looting. I don't care about the fire aspect, but smite, beheading. I want all of those. So, the first thing we'll do is, so we need 4 iron swords per. So let's do this. Okay. Take you and sticks and gold. I have some gold nuggets, but I need some more. You. And what else did I need for sharpness? Redstone. Okay. I tells ya what I tells ya. So I got to I need to get the sand one going. Let's see, that's the dirt. You're the cobblestone. You're getting pretty filled up. You are filled up. So you'll start filling this up pretty fast. So now I need dirt to sand. I need sand to dust. So I'm gonna have to, before I do anything else, I need to make another auto hammer. And I got iron, so that's all I really need. I got sticks. So let's do this. Hammer. Hammer and iron. Auto hammer. So we're going to put you, sir, right here. So sand will come into there and into here. Correct? Yes. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. No 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 no. No 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 no. Where's my I screwed up. Okay, got you. And where is my okay. Okay. Oh, that could have been bad if I hadn't noticed that guy up there. So, yes. Okay. Crisis averted. Okay, so but you don't have any power, which is fine because you'll get power. And then I'll make you okay, so power can go if I have the hammer here. So what I really need to do is stick you there, you go there, right? And you go there. And then I'll have power come up through there. And then let's go get a sieve. An auto sieve. So I need a regular sieve. Block of iron. 2 blocks of iron. And I think that's it, right? Yeah. Glass panes. glass panes, and a sieve. Do I have a sieve? I don't see one. I'm too spread out. Okay. You go there, and not. You go there, you go there. A sieve. So auto sieve engaged, and I will need some more of you, and an item duct I will need, and another servo. Glass and no iron chunks. Boom, boom. Right. Twitch integration encountered an exception. I should have disabled that because I have Twitch integration attached to hold on. Attempting to reconnect. I don't know. I don't know what all that means. Servo. So I'm gonna do this, but I want to disconnect you. Right. And then I want to servo you out. Into our auto sieve. And then that will need another servo. Grr. And another redstone. And then you go there. Right, and you've got no mesh, so we're just going to use this mesh for now. And let's connect some power here. So we can go boom, boom, boom. And we have some dust. Sweetness. Okay. Some gold. Okay, so we'll start collecting more stuff there. That is actually the end of this here, because I've got all my dusts and everything going. So, good job. Way to go. Go team. And we'll put you there. Okay, so let's do this. Let's just do this. I don't think we need our hoe anymore. I'm gonna put the party pickaxe up. Why am I getting... Why am I getting mobs still spawning in here when they're not supposed to be? So let's go to this. So I need redstone. So right now I can do 4 of these. I can do 5 of them. And let's do... What? Really? Okay. I know I'll need that much. And boop. Bloop. 3. And I'm missing 1 sword. I should just do, so 3 more, 7. And I need to do 1 more because I need 8. And that is how we do that hokey pokey. So then I don't have enough to do that, so we'll just do that. This is me 27, that'll be plenty. So I can do 6. Perfect. That'll be enough for now. Six of those. And can I get looting? I want looting. Not beheading. Not fire aspect. Looting. So I need more redstone and more gold. And, oh, I think I have enough of that. I can get up to 8 of those anyway. I can do 5. Okay, here we go. We gonna do it. So I've got that. Nope, looting. 5. Now we'll be cooking with gas. Perfect. Perfecto. Clay loot crate. Rare loot crate. You're filling up with XP as well as getting this solid XP experience. Another trophy. $800 spiders. Okay, so now we need to take our bow and we're going to trash all the bows in the universe. So I'm going to turn this to high. And I thought I had a filter. I don't have a filter. I have no filters. So let's do this. And let's just do this. We'll put you up, yeah. And then we'll go and do nothing because I have no more. I don't think I have any more item ducks. I have a hardened fluid duck. That ought to be good enough. Item duct. Lead and tin. Have I lead and tin here? I do not. Have I lead and tin here? I think I do. That looks like tin. That is tin. And lead. Lead and tin gives me item ducts. And servo I have. I don't need another servo because I just need to go up here, unconnect you and you, filter, blacklist. Oh, but yeah, because it'll have whitelist. So that prevent oversending. Oh my god, I can't do meta. Crud. Never mind. So let's do this. We'll take all the bows. We'll get one good bow out of it. Common loot crate. Let's do this. Bow. Good bow. And I'm sure there's a way to make this happen better, but I don't know what it is right now. And I don't have enough stuff. Okay, so we may have to babysit this for a little while. I don't know if I want to. How much do I want to? How much do I want to play about? Uncommon is great. Okay. So what we had there was almost an explosion of things because of why? Why are you shooting me? Is that your thing? Is that your jam? Because that's not my jam. So we may have to simply block all this off, I guess? I don't know, because if they're going to shoot me, that means they could shoot... I got to get some black wool. I got to get some black... Okay, how does one grab a... Okay, first of all, let's just do this. Second of all, can we get some... Let's do this. Common loot crate. We're going to open up loot crates. Cake. Stone wand. Light gray chicken egg. Squid bait. Name tag. And me with no chest or anything. Can I storage drawer? The heck? See, it looks like there's a red dot right there. There's a purple dot. What's a purple dot? What's a purple dot? And why won't you go back? That's done. So you add edit options. Cancel. World server. Quit hidden. Ah! You're killing me. Game, you're killing me. Okay, so I've got lime chicken egg. And I've got light gray. But what I really want is black. And I need a chest. And for that I need wood. And so one thing I can't find. Wood, 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 wood. Are you wood? So let's do this. Chicken egg, that. I'm running out of room. Potato and cobweb. Uncommon. What's clay? Clay. Makes sense. Uncommon and rare. Ooh, ranchy. What's this? Cow stall. Ooh. And polar bear bait. I don't know why I'd want polar bear. A golden helmet. Really? There we go. Sporting it. I'm styling it. Okay, so now we're going to hold on. Okay. So now get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you. I need black dye. How does one get black dye? Crushed black quartz. I want ink. Ink sac. So I can do that. How do I get a sieve here? A sponge? How do I get a sponge? No, too complicated. Too much. Ink sac. Instabulated chicken egg. Oh, if I only had a... If I only had that. Okay. Ink sac, black pigment, floral black powder, black organic dye. That might be the easiest way for me to get. Crucible, roosting chicken, crusher, mob drop from a squid. Black wool in a crusher. Black wool in a squeezer. Black wool in a pulverizer. I've got to do Botania. I've got to at least get black pigment, floral black powder. How does one get mystical flower? Oh, good grief. Where's the stuff? I need the stuff. Where's the stuff? I don't have the stuff. Where is the... What's it called? I don't even remember what it's called. Oh, for flipper's sake. Scream it out. Scream it out if you know it, because I don't. It's not. It's fertilizer. Floral fertilizer. There it is. So I need dandelion yellow and rose red. Do I have... I know I did have some, so... Yeah. Dandelion yellow and rose red. Oh. Big bait. Dandelion yellow and rose red. So I need a dandelion. This is getting to be silly. So I've got... Can I... I'm gonna say coal can't become anything that will help me, right? Smoky quartz. Infernium coal. Miner's stew. Whoa. Hello. That's not bad. Coal generator. All I really want. It. Coal seeds. Steel ingot. Oh, really? That's all I needed for that? For a steel ingot? Hardened stone. Unhardened stone. Okay, so we can do steel really easily. How do I get... So first of all... Where's my flippin' bone meal? There we go. Let's see if we can get a little bit of red and yellow. This Mengelin, I don't know. Yeah, it seems only like... kind of the whitish colored... Chicken, I don't want to hit you. Okay, so let's stop with that. And we... Taiga. Meneglin. Taiga. Why am I missing a stone here? Did I do that when I was rebuilding and forget to put that back in? Well, there we go now. So Taiga, huh? Taiga, you say? That's very interesting. I know I've seen yellow flowers in a taiga. So let's do this. Just for giggles. We're going to do this. This should be enough room, right? Yeah. And I need dirt. Dirt. I need much more dirt. I need much more dirt than that even. We'll do this. We got this. So what I'm kind of shooting for here is I need to make some flowers. So we're going to put come on. And I forgot my grass seed. Which is okay because I need to get my watering can too. So grass seed is not you, your grass seeds. And watering can I have lost. I have no idea where it's at. Okay. And then water away. Turn me to grass. Okay, now let's bone meal and get nothing. Oh, series. Okay, there's red. There's a red. There's a red and a yellow, it looks like. Good. Perfect. So that will give me one thing of fertilizer, won't it? Jeez Louise. Let's just take this forever, shall we? Rural fertilizer. Give me a black. No black. Wait, was that a black? That wasn't a black. Mystical gray. Okay, we'll try this again. Boom. Give me black. Give me red, orange. So red can turn into oh, good grief. I'm out of room. Oop. And you go there. You go up there, you go up there. I don't know why I'm carrying around these. And down here. And I'm coming back for you. Without the things that I needed to do. Oh. 4, 8. I think that's 16 there. So we will put you guys maybe across the top. Maybe that will work. Yep. So boom. 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 The rest of you are just regular things, so make another thing of you. Ah, come on. You're not giving me what I need. I mean, I could just go down and I'd have to go down below, what, 40 or so? And then make a, basically make a tub, and then wait for the, so much trouble. It just seems to be so much trouble to do that. Oh, seriously. I ever wanted. Oops. I guess in taiga, yellow is more common than posies. Or peonies, I guess. Okay, let's see what we got here. 8 and 25. Come on, give me a black one. Give me black. No, brown. Gray, gray. Mystical light gray, mystical light gray. Are you serious? Okay, that's just, I mean, that's bad luck, but still. Let's see, what is it? Mystical gray. What? You gotta be kidding me. Mr. Black Flowers. Yeah, it'll be easy, they said. So I need to be below. I can't do this one anymore. This is stupid. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get back. So 27 will take us down to, I need to be below, I think it's below 64. So let's do this. Goodness. Am I climbing up the ladder faster or what? So let's go down to... We'll go down to Y40. Okay, so now let's go ahead and dig us out a little spot here. Okay. Light her up. And let's do Okay, I could just do this. And now we want buckets. And let's do so let's do a little infinite pool here. And okay, so now we could probably just go do party pick. Party pick time. Okay, now we can light her up. And light her up. Okay, this isn't working out as well as I thought. So let's do this. There we go. That's more like it. Really? This isn't going to work, is it? I'm going to have to do some more engineering. Are you kidding me? Okay. Let's do this. No. Let's do this. Okay, so this should fill this in. Right? I don't remember things being this hard. Why are things this hard? Am I... Is it that... Okay. So now... So there's that. Why is making a pond here so hard? Okay. Now, we'll do this the correct way then, I guess. I do. Hello. Damn it. I'm playing Minecraft. Imagine that. Woohoo! Come on, get out of there. Get out. Get out. Get out. Still not right. There we go. I set it to low latency so that, because last weekend when I was doing it, I didn't have it at low latency, and it was taking like a little while to, you know, you were getting the lag, not the lag, but the, you know, it would pause for a while before the my voice would catch up with chat. So that's how we do. There's a setting in there that you can set that's called low latency. It's in your dash. I think it's in the dashboard. Yeah. And it'll take care of that for you. Ooh. 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 I am doing well. How are you doing? You are making videos like a madman. And there we go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Ooh. Get. Well, but I mean, compared to the rest of everybody, you're making you're doing good. Perfect. Okay, so now I want to wait for the you want to get on Discord und chat? Okay. Come on. You know what? Let me actually take a quick bathroom break, and I'll be right back. Beep. Hold on.
Hey. Oh, you know, same old, same old. Finally got the kid to sleep. Yeah, that's the. I'm pretty much left with like an hour or two a night now, after when all's said and done, to get any gaming or recording or anything done. So. Yep. And I knew it would be like that, but I wasn't expecting the, even though it's not like a lot of physical toll or anything on me, I wasn't expecting to be so drained. Cuz he's not a problem at all. Like he's not, I mean, like tonight he was a bit fussy and a bit annoying to deal with. But in general, he's usually really good. He's usually really calm and relaxed. Chill little guy. That's about it. But for some reason tonight he didn't want to cooperate. But yeah, it's wasn't expecting that aspect of it. Wasn't expecting to be so drained all the time. That's the main reason I think that I'm having problems doing other stuff. Mentally drained. Mm-hmm.
Broadcasting on stream. There we go. I ended up.
I was seeing what you were doing.
What's that?
I was seeing what you were doing.
Well, no, I wasn't broadcasting mic over stream. I'm broadcasting over Discord.
Oh.
I'm broadcasting mic over Discord, but not over stream.
Gotcha. Misunderstood you.
I mean, I had a Super Nintendo. I played it all the time, and then after my kids were born, I didn't really play again until, like, I mean, it was almost 7 or 8 years when I played again.
Yeah.
And of course, this was really before. This was at the birth of the internet, so there weren't a lot of things to remind me that I needed that I should go play. You know, like there wasn't. I mean, obviously YouTube wasn't even around then, and there wasn't really, you know, like in order to see any video games, I had to go to a gaming, you know, a store that sold them, and that's what I would see. And I guess that's not true, because I do remember playing. I played games that I could get pulled away from real quick. Like,
oh, that's what you're saying. Yeah, not super story heavy, and you have to get real invested in the moment, or where you had a lot of time to. Yeah.
Like, like SimCity and Civilization. Those were the two that I played a lot at that point. And of course, I wasn't streaming or broadcasting in any way. You know, that wasn't even.
That would have been interesting if you were. I would have loved to have an explanation if you were somehow doing that at that point.
So I mean, it was one of those things where still yet there wasn't a lot. I didn't play a lot of games. I played, you know, like basically those two games, and that was because, again, I could get pulled away from them real simple, and there was no storyline that I had to pay attention to, and for the most part I could remember where I was and stuff, and I could play for like 20-30 minutes and walk away from it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was having kids will really change your amount of time. Plus, I mean, I'm sure there's a component that you just like hanging out with them too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Oh, yeah.
like, should I go make a video or should I go play? It's like,
Yeah.
I'll go spend time.
Yeah, fortunately and unfortunately for me, my wife works early mornings, and he usually goes to bed about 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
8 o'clock's usually the late end. So for me, it's not. It's like for me, it comes down to either watching something or making something.
Sure.
Because there's nobody up for me to deal with at like 8 or 9 o'clock, and then it's all right. I have like an hour to get set up to do something, so I have to power on a computer, get all the. I got so many programs that I have to close every time I boot up my computer. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have to go through and program all the ones I don't want to have play. But yeah, it's come down to basically what do I want to do, watch or create, and lately I'm so exhausted mentally that I struggle to write anything good, or at least write anything I think is good in the moment.
Right.
And my stuff right now, I have such a specific tone that I'm trying to hit every time.
Yeah.
That it's very hard for me to be confident in how I'm hitting the tone. I probably don't need to, but I feel like that is part of the quality of my content. Like, everybody's been telling me I make good content. I feel like most of them, if they really broke it down based on what they like about it, I think it would be my delivery. So I feel like I need to maintain that tone. Otherwise, that the biggest element of quality there is gone. So if I'm having a bad night, I could completely screw up an entire recording.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times lately, I'm just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna watch freaking Marvelous Maisel or Walking Dead or whatever I need to binge watch for a few days.
Right. Have you now? Do you have Netflix?
Yeah. Right now we have Netflix. My wife has Sling, and we also have Hulu, and Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You've got everything then. Have you watched?
Yep.
Have you watched Afterlife with Ricky Gervais?
I tried getting into it, but I think I was too tired when I tried watching it, and because it's dry humor, if you're not in the right mood for it, it's not gonna land super clean. So I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna revisit it.
It's like really super. I don't even know that it's almost like a black comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing, is the first couple episodes are kind of like just depressing, I think, for the most part. Initially,
the first full half of it is just depressing.
Yeah,
I mean, without a doubt. It's very depressing. But then after a while, it gets really good. Like, you get really invested in stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I just gotta wait until I'll probably wait until I have like a couple days off, like a couple extra days or something, so I have enough time to really sit and make sure I push myself through it, because it's one I want to get into. Yeah. Because I know a lot of people that have similar senses of humor to mine, that I don't know personally, but I've seen talk about it. But yeah, like let me see, what have I been watching lately? I started watching the last few seasons of The Walking Dead, even though I hate The Walking Dead, because Ryan Hurst is in it, and I loved his character in Sons of Anarchy. So I want to see what he does being a bad guy in the new season of The Walking Dead. So I wanted to binge watch the last couple seasons I missed to catch up, so I could see what he does and see if it's like, good, this is gonna be another boring period of time. He's not saving it for me at all.
Yeah.
And then drop it again. But I love his work in Sons of Anarchy, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. But so far, the season doesn't air anywhere online until, was it 31st, I think. So I basically binge watched 2 seasons, and now I have to wait a couple days.
Aren't they ending that? Isn't that series ending pretty soon?
I don't know what's going on with it, because the main characters that started the show are pretty much all dead now.
Yeah.
In the show. I think it's just like one guy and one girl in the cast that are from the original cast. Because even the well, you don't follow it, so even
No,
even
I know enough of it. The sheriff is gone.
well, he's not gone in the episodes I've seen yet. I know he dies at some point, but I don't know if he's actually died on the show or not yet,
Yeah.
or if they just know he's going to die in the show.
Right.
His son died. His son has already died in the season I just watched. Yeah, it's gonna it's I don't know. It was better than I was expecting because it's a very slow moving show.
Yeah.
That's the issue I usually have with the show. It has a couple episodes after, like, it's like every 2 seasons you get one good season where there's a lot of action, a lot more intrigue. And the season with the last guy, with the guy Negan, there was a lot more interesting stuff that did happen because of the way they constructed that character and his behavior and how the war between the two groups went. But it was still not that entertaining.
Yeah.
Even with all the stuff that should have made it entertaining, it started feeling like, well, you're just throwing punches at this point. It's the same punch back and forth. You're not really getting anywhere. One of you should just move at this point.
Right.
But
yeah, I've heard a lot of people. I've heard that after what was the one with the guy with the baseball bat that was wrapped in barbed wire.
That was Negan.
Yeah, I heard that after that season, people kind of did go ahead and ditch it, you know.
Yeah, because it's going to drop off it's going to drop down to being a real slow kind of slog. I mean, it's the same reason I don't like Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, a lot of people like Lord of the Rings. Yeah. I get why. I get it. But I disagree.
Yeah.
To me, it's a boring, slow movie where almost nothing happens.
Right.
So,
I actually never watched Lord of the Rings. And I'm such
the Hobbit movies were even worse.
Yeah, I'm such a huge... I haven't watched them either. And I'm such a huge Tolkien fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I love The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, but not the movie. Like,
yeah. The Hobbit movies, let me rephrase that, because the Hobbit movies weren't bad for the same reason. The Hobbit movies were bad because they were just bad.
Yeah.
Like it was there was a lot of stuff that didn't really make any sense in it. And then even the stuff that did make sense, it was just the pacing wasn't very good in my opinion. Like it was more that the movie could have been good. The movies could have been good, I guess.
Yeah.
But it just felt like they forced it. It felt like they were trying to do something that no one was really asking for.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that they had to stretch the one story into 3 movies instead of making one movie about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It just felt unnecessary. The Lord of the Rings movies were just boring to me because it was just so much of it was just boring conversation that didn't really fuel the story or just it felt like most of the movie was just filled with filler, which is what Walking Dead. I mean, one of the things I have a problem with The Walking Dead for is stuff like they have a tendency to do things like, oh, they just finished talking and now they're walking away. So let's pan slightly over to this wall where a zombie is stuck in a window.
Yeah.
Now let's keep the camera on them for a good 10 seconds. But why?
Yeah. Well, and it's like,
It's like they're just fluffing the story. And I got a feeling it's similar to what they did with Dragon Ball and what they do with a lot of other shows where they try and produce faster than their deadline for content is.
Yeah.
So like The Walking Dead is still being written. So they're trying to produce the story faster than they can actually finish the story kind of thing.
Right.
I know that was the reason, that was the at least that's the common perception of why Dragon Ball Z was like that. I've never done the research to prove, because I don't really care that much, whether or not that is the actual reason that there was so much in Dragon Ball that didn't lead to anything. Full episodes of powering up. I love the show, love Dragon Ball, but I fully admit there's a lot of stupid stuff in there.
Really and truly, there really was. I mean, it wasn't like when I guess the fight scene between Goku and Frieza was really good, and then they kept.
It was like a full season.
It took forever to do anything.
Yeah,
and you're right. It was like Kaioken 15 minutes later. So yeah, mm-hmm. I get that. I totally get that. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, it's I think that's a lot of it. But yeah, it's so far it's been keeping me entertained, so I'll see. I mean, I'll probably watch the first episode or two and I'll be like, yeah, no. I actually have to binge watch Walking Dead. I've tried watching like 3 or 4 different seasons when they aired, because I got into the last season when I binge watched all the way through it.
Yeah.
Because it kind of plays like a movie, so the slow moments don't outweigh the few action heavy moments. It's almost like the show is written like a movie, but then stretched.
Yeah.
Because if you watch it like a movie, those action moments and everything, they feel more well paced comparatively. So it almost feels like if you compress the entire season into 2 hours, the action scenes are placed where they would be in that same time frame.
Like like everything would make sense at that point.
Yeah, it almost feels like if it was compressed, it would feel right. Like it would follow a better structure. But I think that's the big part of the problem, is that they don't structure the show. I think they follow their own thing, because each episode does not necessarily contribute wholly, and they do things like they'll start off an episode with a flashback to something that doesn't necessarily pertain to what they ended the last episode with.
Right. So
now it feels like you're watching something current, because it's still in the afterworld, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But you don't have any context as to what's going on, so you have to figure it out as the conversation progresses. Oh, this is a flashback, because they don't do it every episode. It's so inconsistent and confusing a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's not a lot of shows on TV that do actually put that much work into things like action and the value in that. There's a lot of stuff that they do that others don't, but it's
right.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they were a little better at it, but I won't. Not like I exactly have a career that I should be criticizing them.
Well, I mean, what the heck? It's one thing when the I'm trying to think here. What was I going to say? It's one thing when a show is really well done and there's a definite beginning and a definite end and stuff, and then it's another thing when it just becomes so slow that you're not really sure what's going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like are they really meaning to kill off this or that person, or so
yeah, it is kind of crazy that you can go so slow that you can get lost still, even though usually you think, well, it's if somebody's going too fast it'll happen. You don't usually think about people going too slow losing you.
Right.
But yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, it's I mean it's just they've got to figure out what I mean, and may like I said, I think the series is pretty much gonna wrap up soon, but they needed to really figure out what they stood for, basically.
Yeah, Rick. I think Rick died early on in the comic or the graphic novel or whatever.
Yeah.
But Carl lived a while longer, so they're already off after like season 3. They're already off the books or whatever.
Right.
So a lot of people had the show ruined for them when they did that because they wanted to see the books reimagined, basically.
Well, yeah.
And
I mean,
now, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't blame them. You know.
Yeah.
You know that.
I get it.
That totally makes sense to me, because it's people want to, at the end of the day, they want that predictability.
Mm-hmm.
So they want they don't want the surprises of they don't want the surprises of if you've read that, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that's why like a lot of times when books are turned into movies, like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, it doesn't work out that well, because they can't, either they don't do something right that everybody expects, or like they either don't do something right, or they take something in order to progress the movie, which needs to run a little bit faster. They end up screwing up the storyline, and then that ticks everybody off. So
yeah, I think it's the main reason that that books are so not books, games, for instance, have never really had good movies. I mean, some people can argue that the Mortal Kombat movies and a lot of those movies that really have, like, there was no story to it. It was just like
right.
an action. There's a lot of those movies where, like, they were cheaply made and they were kind of crappy. Yeah. They were really crappy, but at the time they weren't necessarily crappy. They were just made. They weren't made with quality in mind as much.
Correct. Yes.
So they were made to accomplish telling a story, which they did, and they did it well enough, but it won't stand the test of time. So that's why, like, now when we look back on it, those movies were terrible.
Right.
But then you have movies like Doom, which are actually terrible, and it wasn't a matter of being lost in time. Like, I tried watching that for the first time recently. Yeah. And I never had an attachment to the Doom game or anything, because I never really played it. I played it a couple of years ago when I found a free download of it somewhere. Yeah. And it was okay. It was okay, but it was no big deal.
Did you play the 90s Doom, or did you play like the
original?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I actually streamed it or something. You know what I think it was? Hobo, I think, found it actually and said that we should do like a dual playthrough or something, like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. And I think I actually did make a video of it. I think it's one of the ones I ended up deleting because we ended up not finishing it. We only did one episode of it or something, and then we both dropped it. Well, I ended up.
Yeah, because that's like a game that doesn't really. I mean, it really doesn't have a storyline.
Yeah.
I mean, the original Doom. Now, the Doom from, I forget what it was, like 2003 or 4 or something. Mm-hmm. That one actually had a big storyline.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Doom 3. I actually have Doom 3. It was on the original Xbox. I did play that one. I never played, but I didn't really get very far in it. I actually streamed it and spent like half hour trying to do this one thing, and I couldn't figure out how to do the puzzle, so I ended up giving up and stopped playing the game. It pissed me off so much that one puzzle. I was like, you know what? I don't have any interest in finishing this game.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't that invested in it to begin with. I just thought, this is an interesting shooter game. I must give this a shot.
Yeah.
But ended up losing interest in it pretty quick.
It's a hard... Doom 3, I have to say, was actually a hard game. I mean, it's like if you're and I'm not the best at... I'm not any good at first-person shooters, and if you're not, it's a really hard game.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I actually had the most recent one as well, now I think about it. But only for a brief time, because there was something that happened with that game, too, that I just lost interest in it. And that one's a really good game. The most recent Doom. Like, if I got a Nintendo Switch, I would probably get that game again, which is kind of stupid because I probably wouldn't finish it again, but because I'd have it on the go, it'd be a fun just shooter to just play when I'm out and about. But other than that, I probably wouldn't actually have too much interest in it. I think because I'd be out and about with that one. And if things keep going the way they're going, there's potential next year I might like go to a convention. So might be nice to have it if I do that.
Oh yeah.
But we'll see about that one.
Which one would you...
Everybody keeps talking about VidCon, but everyone complains about VidCon. So I don't know. It would be it would only be to go and meet the guys that I already talked to.
Yeah.
And stuff for the most part. And I've got like friends. I'm in a group chat with a couple people.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that group chat, I ended up getting my content got put in front of people's eyes I was not expecting it to end up in front of. But a lot of people that are connected to that, it's like kind of like once removed friendships type of thing.
Yeah.
That I've got people that I know or that know of me that I haven't met. That I might be able to meet if I go.
Yeah.
I don't know if I even necessarily have interest in going to see. Oh, you're a YouTuber that I've never met that has like 1 million subscribers. I'm not that interested in going to see somebody in person, that unless it was like to meet them as a friend or a peer or something.
Right.
I don't know why. I don't know. I just doesn't like the idea of fangirling over somebody or whatever is not doesn't really. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way I could say it.
Oh yeah, I hear you. It's yeah, I'm kind of the same way. There's nobody that any of the big ones that I'd ever have any desire to go see really in person.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think I'd ever want to go to like a meetup or anything like that. If I was going to go to like a panel or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Because usually there's something. Usually it's either very entertainment focused or very knowledge focused. So usually there's something to take away from a panel.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd want to go sit in like a giant crowded auditorium by myself and listen to somebody talking about stuff that I already have a loose grasp of anyway.
Right.
For the most part. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it'd be almost entirely just for like networking purposes more than anything else if I was to go. But yeah, like, cause there's this guy Doplex, made a video about him last year, and he really cool dude. I love his content. It's almost entire. There's very little drama tied to him. Like I get sucked into drama stuff.
Yes, you do.
Which, yeah.
Yeah, you do.
And I get sucked into feuds with friends and stuff, which I don't mean to. It just kind of happens sometimes because I've got some argumentative friends.
Yeah.
And usually, like, that's why, like, if I make any videos about a drama subject, I usually try to either make. I try not to make drama videos, but on occasion, there's a topic I'll cover that could either be perceived as drama or it is drama related. So I'll try and do something like I did this video recently about motivational content, and nothing against that kind of content, and I didn't want to like make it specifically about the one guy, because I don't know what his intent was. I don't know if he really thought through what he was doing when he did it. I just had a lot of issues with what he did in that one situation a year ago. So I don't want to like attack him over something he did a year ago or anything like that. It's not like I'm trying to attack anybody at all. It's just something I want to talk about more so than like, this guy, look what this guy did. So how do I do that without attacking him? How do I do that without being that guy?
Right.
Well, I structure it as a conversation about a general topic and use him as an example. And I feel like that doing it with that methodology would be understandable. Whether or not it is, if I was to become big, we'll see, I guess. I don't know. It's worth a shot. That's my reasoning. But yeah, I try not to do too much to it. It doesn't help that there's so many drama people that do the same stuff I do in general, like the same kind of content.
Right.
So it's kind of easy to get sucked into it. Well, especially when you're analytical.
Well, from what I've seen, you're trying to do you're trying to do comedy about it. So it's not you're not being like Keemstar, or something.
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
just trying to stir stuff up,
Yeah, I mean, if there's something I see where like people are giving somebody props for something, like Keemstar did an interview with Ninja last year, and I made a video about it because he was like, I don't understand why you're getting all this hate. It's unnecessary. There's no reason. And I was like, well, he false reported people in the video game. Like he could have gotten them banned. Right. So, and there's people like a guy I've been talking to recently. I'm not gonna say his name, but anyway, I've been talking to this guy recently who likes Ninja, and his point that he made to me recently was, well, yeah, but when you flag somebody in a game like that, it usually just won't match you with the person again. I was like, I've never heard that anywhere before. You feel free to think that. But that was never one of Ninja's points either.
But if you report them, then they're reported.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're it's
not like it's a gray area. It's you legitimately actually made a claim about what they did.
Right.
Whether or not that was the intent, that's what happened.
If you don't want to be paired with them, you can block them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you think there's got to be some function for that specifically.
You can block them and stuff. I mean, most games have a block, and most things like that have a block, and then most and then they have a report, and you do a report because they're cheating or they're putting up swastikas or something like that.
Yeah, so like I don't necessarily say exactly. So I don't agree with that that point, but whatever. I'm not going to sit there and argue with them because it's it's an old situation now too, so it's not even necessary to really have a back and forth about it with the guy. So I was just like, all right, whatever. But
Squid.
He had a problem. Like Keemstar made it a big deal about that, but then if people false flag somebody or false report somebody on YouTube, that's a problem. Right. But not in this game. Like, and I get there's a certain level of it being a different situation, because one in most cases actually, like with YouTube, because it's like copyright and things like that, it's usually even a case of legality more than just what you're personally okay with or whatever. But I'm sure there is some kind of legal or something in their terms of service that says you cannot abuse our reporting system. And Epic Games themselves said that they take actioning at all in their reporting or whatever system very seriously. So if that's the case, then he actually is breaking rules and he actually is causing a problem. Right. So there's like a lot of holes to all that theory that everybody has. So anyway, I made a video basically talking about how Keemstar has a personal connection to Ninja, So what makes more sense? That Ninja didn't do anything wrong by false flagging somebody and doing this and this and this? Or does it make more sense that Keemstar is trying to kind of get him in the clear because he runs Fortnite competitions, and Ninja, being the biggest person in Fortnite right now, can make him a lot of money by bringing attention to his tournaments? So that's one of my videos. So I mean, like, there's very few times where I'll make a video that's like drama related or something that there's not something more to it than just being like calling somebody out because they made a video about a little girl or something.
Right.
Because like there's a lot of that going on right now. I'm actually working on a video. I actually recorded it already, but I want to re-record it because I want to make sure I put more effort into it. About I call it hashtag policing the internet. Because we had hashtag wake up YouTube.
Yeah.
We have hashtag wake up Instagram, which some people I know were actually personally invested in, which was stupid. But you know, the ones I know seemed to have the best intentions. We had the Momo challenge, and we had the Petty Mom situation, where she found Filthy Frank. There was I'm sure you're familiar enough with Filthy Frank's green screen clips from your existence.
Oh yeah,
your existence on the internet.
He doesn't do anything anymore, really. But
yeah. No. He literally basically killed his character. He literally killed his character. At the end of 2017. But what was the Petty Mom situation was somebody was. It's kind of actually Petty Mom situation was very much like the Momo situation. There was somebody that was on YouTube Kids, and their kid was watching stuff, and they found a video where Filthy Frank, one of his green screen clips where he was making some kind of really dark, edgy joke, was used in a kid's video in the middle. So like they took a kid's video, put the green screen thing in it as a joke, which isn't really a joke, but
right.
And then they uploaded it, and it ends up slipping through the filters on YouTube Kids, because there's only so much YouTube's filters can actually physically filter through content.
Right.
And the video that they used, the green screen clip that they used, was the one where he says, he walks on screen, says, "Remember, kids, across the road for attention, down the street for if you mean it," or something like that.
Right.
And he said, "Finish it," and walks off screen or something like that.
It was meant for adults. It wasn't meant for children.
Yeah, but it was placed. It was taken because he put up all these clips so that people could use them however they wanted to.
Right.
And somebody took the clip and put it over, like, you know, an animation of Splatoon characters from the Nintendo Splatoon game or something. So they put it over top of that, with nothing else going with. Like, there was nothing to do with it. It had nothing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't. It wasn't tied to it. It was just that. So she started. This woman, her handle was Petty Mom, and she's a pediatrician and mother who like talks about safety on the internet and all this other stuff. But she starts going and talking about how YouTube. This clip wasn't just uploaded to YouTube; it was uploaded to YouTube Kids, which YouTube is pretty clear that. YouTube Kids is YouTube with a filter. Right. It's not exactly a secret. No. It's not some well-kept secret. It's well known. So if you're gonna be talking about how much of an expert you are in protecting kids on the internet and all that, you should probably have known that, first of all. And then she starts saying, like, calling out Filthy Frank, who probably doesn't even have access on his phone or anything to the Filthy Frank account. So he's not getting notifications on it. He's not checking that account. He's not doing anything with that stuff anymore, right?
Right.
He's completely disassociated from it now. So she's like calling him out as it because he's responsible. His fans are responsible for the hate I'm getting and this and that and the other thing. Because she's spreading misinformation about, yeah, there's a problem there, but that's an outlier situation. That's not a problem with the platform as a whole. Like but that's yeah, and that's the thing is like there's all these people this year that are doing things like that where they're kind of taking an isolated incident, blowing it up out of proportion, and then spreading the blown up information to as many people as possible to try and influence the quote unquote cancel culture kind of thing.
Because the outrage machine must run. We must have our outrage.
Well, and part of it is I almost feel like whether they realize it or not, there's got to be a level of self-servitude in it.
Yeah.
Because while they don't say that they're in it for themselves, and they all say that there's nothing that they're going to gain from it besides making things, the just knowing that this situation has been handled. But you've got people like the Petamom, right? Mm-hmm. She didn't start doing this until after the Momo challenge blew up, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And the Momo challenge was another one where people just took a situation that wasn't fully reported, or like investigated or anything, and they started reporting on it.
Right.
Without having all the facts yet. And then what do you know? Oh, it's a hoax. No one actually experienced this.
Right.
Well, then what happens?
Well,
you have people that find out about the story, they find out it's a hoax, and they're like, oh, but it'd be funny if there were actually clips like that. Right. So they go and they make clips, and then the outrage itself makes the story real. So it wasn't real until but in the future when people look back on it, but when people look back on it, that's what they're going to say.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of thing I want to talk about, because like there's the hashtag Instagram, hashtag wake up Instagram, hashtag wake up YouTube. Same thing happened. Right. Kind of sort of where like the situation wasn't. I mean, the Instagram one was pretty bad. What they were reporting on was pretty bad, but they screwed it all up. They like reported it to what they thought were authorities, which weren't authorities. And then because they didn't get an email back that told them they were removing the accounts and all this other stuff, which the company had no authority to do.
Yeah.
They what was it they did? Oh, they like made videos about it instead and stuff.
Right. Well, and again, it's just that outrage machine. You know, we've got to be outraged about something. You know, we can't. You know, and then then the things that they really should be outraged about, they'll never be outraged about.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like because they went and we started prematurely talking about this stuff before anything could have even been done about it, because they only waited like a week after they reported the stuff to the companies and to the quote unquote authorities. They only waited like a week. They're not even if they would have gotten back to you within a week after doing proper research and all that stuff. You have to think about the fact that they're not going to be able to take action that quick, because they're going to want to try and find everybody associated to that group as well.
Right. So
like they completely just jumped the gun and made a lot of mistakes. And the thing with YouTube, the hashtag wake up YouTube, they did the same thing. The Matt Watson guy, and nobody talked about this because of what the other stuff he was doing, like attacking advertisers and all this other stuff. There was so much other ridiculous stuff that he was doing that's what people were focused on. But this guy Nick Diorio was making a video about something else, and I was watching. I was like, "Holy crap! It didn't even occur to." He didn't say this in particular, but it was something that didn't occur to me until I was watching his video about something unrelated. I was like, "Yeah, we were all focused on that. We never even thought about the fact that he just let everybody know that all these pedos were making videos or using these videos." But now they all have time. Now they all had time to like close their accounts and stuff. If he would have reported it to the right places, they could have actually tracked their actions, tracked the people, and taken action against it.
Right.
But because he wanted to throw the information out there and make his name off of it. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to stop, throwing our own little videos together about stuff like that. I mean, like, if you want to make a video about like somebody that's doing something sketchy, okay. But if you're talking about like some kind of like the whole platform is corrupted, like maybe think about all the information you're giving away for free before you give it to the people that need to see it.
Right. Well, think about the people who are going to end up being really affected by this, and they just don't.
Yeah. Yep. Because there's people that are vulnerable. There's probably still people that are vulnerable, but all they really did with like the hashtag YouTube Wake Up, all the people that were really affected were creators. There wasn't really much effect on perverts because the people that were doing things wrong, they had plenty of time before YouTube would have been able to do anything to shut their accounts down and stuff if they were paying attention.
Right.
And to begin with, he misrepresented the situation, which scared. Even though they probably knew that he was misrepresenting it, advertisers were obviously spooked because there's still some issues here. So even though he misrepresented the situation, things still have to change.
Right.
So it's a shame, but it happens, I guess. But yeah, that's like one of the things I want to talk about, because it's like there's a lot of people just act like, no, you just need to make the video on it. It's just that's what needs to happen. It's like no, just think first. Think about the possible repercussions.
Exactly. Ooh, compact giant chance cube. Compact giant chance cube. Goodbye.
What is that?
Oh, those chance cubes. They're evil. You could either
is that like Lucky Block but worse?
It's Lucky Block basically, but yeah, you can lose everything with chance cubes, and you can make things to like tell you if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's always bad.
Yeah.
They're always bad.
Sometimes I want to hop back. Like Monkey Hobo and I were playing on the vanilla server a little bit, like 2 months ago.
Oh yeah.
I spent like 4 days nonstop playing on there, and then I stopped it. And after I stopped, I was like, you know what? I don't want to get back on it because I spent too much time playing. Yeah. Because it's one of those things where I get so invested in it when I start playing it. And then I hit a certain level and I don't feel like going back to it for some reason.
Something like this, something like StoneBlock I can play, but man, I just can't. I have a hard time playing vanilla. I just really do. I don't have a lot of I don't know what you'd call it, love for it. I don't know. It's just, I got on after they reset. I got on and played a little. Ooh, hello, eat black chicken. You will be my friend. I got on and played for a little while, and I built a small house, and I went down and I think I ended up getting a couple diamonds or something. I don't remember what I did, but I got done and I was just like, after about it was about 4 or 5 days, every time I wanted to get back on, every time I was going to get back on, I'd be like, Lisai. I don't know.
Yeah, I got as far as the what do you call it? The server screen, and I looked at it and I was like, do I really want to? And then I was like, nobody's on. Yeah, I definitely don't want to. I really wanted to at the same time. I was just like, there's a lot of time I could see. I think I actually logged in a few weeks ago too, and then started looking around. It's like, yeah, I don't think there's much more to do with what I'm already working on here.
Yeah.
Now I'd have to go look for something else to do. I don't really feel like going to look for something else to do in this game. I'd rather just walk around my house and look for something to do at that point.
Right.
And then, like, I mean, modded always made things easier because you can like bring stuff with you because you like golden bag of holding or something like that. So there's always a little bit more to it. Always extended the life of the game too because you could just pick up your entire house and move it pretty much.
Right. And and I mean, in something like this, there's with all the different mods, there's something that you can do,
Yeah.
And there's that next step that you want to, that you can take. But yeah, with vanilla, it just seems like even with the C updates, it just doesn't seem like it's, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just can't. I can't get into it. I just can't.
The updates are not impactful enough to the game to keep you for much longer. I get you.
So
does that pig have googly eyes?
That pig has googly eyes. Do I have googly eyes? I don't know.
The heck?
Yeah. I forget what
I
mod.
did not know that.
Yeah, that's
interesting.
Actually a mod, I think. That's a single mod.
It's got to be. They stick it. They're like a tiny sliver on top of the layer. It's like a hat for them or something.
Yeah, I think that's exactly. I think that's precisely what that is.
That's funny.
Okay, Mr. Black, eat black chicken. Let's go. Grow yourself up.
Man, I got a lot I want to do this year, and I don't know where to start. Oh boy, I got movies I want to go see. I got things I want to do. Yeah.
Have you gone to see Captain Marvel?
No, we haven't really had the time. We was it we did something a few like part of the problem is like, and now my wife's like got all these comedians and stuff she's sending me links to and stuff like this guy's gonna be here, this gonna be Adam Sandler's friends and I was like, okay, hold up, you sent me like 3 different comedians for this year. We can't just pawn our kid off on my parents every day and then ask them to watch him at night every night too.
Right.
So I think I think she's really just sending me options, but we'll see. But yeah, like that's part of my problem is figuring out, okay, when would be the best time to go? When would be the one that we'd be the most interested in? When, like, which one should, like, all that stuff. And it's like, because I hate the idea of buying the tickets and then finding out that somebody already has stuff planned 3 months in advance or something.
Right.
That's my luck. That's my kind of luck. That's what would happen.
Yeah, that's that's hard to do. Although that's exactly what I have done. I'm going to go see Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah.
In July. So
nice.
That's my childhood favorite band. I have like every one of their albums.
Trying to think of what I think he was making noise, but he's still. Yeah, we went to go see Gabriel Iglesias last year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it wasn't last year. Maybe it was the year before. Yeah, it's probably the year before. Yeah, I had to be there for because I still had a vlogging channel that I occasionally uploaded to. Man, that was funny. Dude's hilarious. Even better in person because he does, obviously, the comedians they'll like make references to your area, but I couldn't tell if it was like jokes he makes every time he comes or not, because he was like AC, Atlantic City. I mean it's a fairly famous city, I guess.
Yeah.
But like he even made jokes about how it used to be versus how it is now, but it sounded fairly up to date.
Yeah.
And he was only there for the one night, and then he had to be in like Massachusetts. So I don't know how he would have prepared. I don't know how he could prepare full parts of his set based on like where he's going to be for one night, the way he did. Like most people, they just kind of like reference the town a couple times.
Right.
That's about it. And that makes more sense to me. But he made full jokes about like the area and all that. It was just so interesting. It was a very enjoyable experience.
Who was this?
Gabriel Iglesias.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite comedians because he's very. I love storyteller comedians more than one-liner comedians. One-liner comedians are good, or like joke comedians are good, but
right
when they're able to tell a full story and keep it entertaining, and lead up to like a few big hits throughout the story.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, obviously it's easier for them because they don't have as much material they have to generate because they can tell more. They have more words to say before they needed a joke because they have to set up a story first. So I like it when people are able to do that. See, and I guess part of it is because I also like my videos, especially lately. I think one of the reasons it's so difficult is because I analyze the stuff I make, like my writing, heavily.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned about pacing, making sure I put too much context. I'm very concerned about making sure I have enough context in there because, you know, context is important when you're talking about like criticizing or joking about something.
Yes.
So I'm very cautious about that. But then on top of that, I'm very concerned with pacing. Pacing is very important to content, whether it be a movie, a TV show, even music, really. So that's one of the things that I pay so much attention to. And I've been talking to a couple people about this lately. I consume almost exclusively comedy content. Like I know like I said earlier, I watched Walking Dead and things like that. Yeah. But eventually when you run out of comedy content that you enjoy or comedy content that is related to what you're into.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need a break from it too. But yeah, so like I consume tons of comedy content. Even if I don't find it funny anymore.
Right.
It's more about I don't even necessarily do it because I want to learn from it, but because that was funny watching the pig look up at you and his eye flap around. Like, But yeah, it's not like I intentionally start watching comedy content specifically. It's not gonna look up at you?
No.
A little jerk. There you go. But yeah, so now it's just doing it over and over again, specifically because we're getting a kick out of it. That'd be funny. But yeah, I don't think I intentionally watch the stuff. I wouldn't say I intentionally seek the stuff out specifically to learn from it or anything.
Right.
But I know that that's one effect of watching so much comedy content is that I'm picking things up.
Right.
Not even consciously thinking about it. I'm just picking it up. So like comedic timing is something that I think I have gotten better at. And based on the comments I get, I have. And that's the thing is like that's like I don't want to act like I'm a expert or anything. I never want to act like I'm an expert in anything. Right. But there's a certain amount that like I feel like a lot of people have, especially that I've talked to lately, because I've heard some people I've talked to that are like act like I don't know what I'm talking about. Like there's actually one video I'm working on right now. It's about this Netflix show by Larry Charles, I think.
Okay.
Apparently he's the director of. Apparently he's the director of Borat and Bruno, both movies. I don't know. I remember I looked up his filmography and he has a couple of big names, including those two, but not super recognizable movies. All of them. It was just some of them. And so I was watching this special thing because there's this guy Boonk who is featured on the thumbnail on Netflix. Now, it's not in your wheelhouse of entertainment, so you probably have no idea who Boonk is. But Boonk basically was like a Vine or Instagram comedian or something originally, who built his career essentially off of quote-unquote pranking people.
Okay.
Now, these pranks consisted of stealing from them.
Okay.
Now, supposedly, it was all fake. Supposedly it was all fake, and he was paying people off. I've never seen proof of that. The only thing you could say is, well, the proof is that he didn't get arrested.
Right.
Well, he did get arrested at least once for doing it. He got arrested at least once for doing the video. And he claims that the thing that kicked it all off was he was doing like an Instagram live video, right?
Okay.
And somebody said in his chat to jump over the counter and make his own chicken. So he did. Well, he didn't pay anybody off to do that.
Yeah.
So he's done it for real at least a few times. Also, there was a consistent thing he would do, from what I've seen, where he would like go into a convenience store, pull out sodas out of the cabinet, the fridge, and pour them on the ground, take off his shirt, and do a slip and slide on the floor. Things like that. It's like, how much would he have to have paid these people to make a mess of his store, which they would have then had to pay to clean up?
Right.
Now, the reason I'm making this video about this all these years later is that this show on Netflix is about the dangerous world of comedy. Why is he, who is clearly not a comedian, on a thumbnail for a show about comedy in dangerous places like the Holocaust and things like that? Like, why would people in internment camps make jokes? Why would people that are in war-torn countries be making jokes? Why would people under a dictatorship where they could be killed for making jokes, why would they make their jokes?
Right.
And because I don't know why, but I have a very basic understanding of psychology. I have a very natural basic understanding of it. I don't know why. But from like, when I've seen all that stuff, I'm like, well, it makes sense because from at least one perspective, you have at the very least coping mechanism. At the very basic, the most basic example you could come up with is a coping mechanism. If you're in a horrible situation and your coping mechanism by default is humor, then that's what you're going to default to.
Yeah.
But I was actually told personally, I had somebody personally tell me that it's stupid for me to think that. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And you're like people that are my bosses at work and things like that. And it's like, you have no understanding of what I'm talking about, clearly. Otherwise, you would understand where I'm coming from.
Right.
It's not as stupid as you think it is. But they told me it's stupid because they said that no matter what, there's nothing you could say that's going to make an internment camp or whatever, during the Holocaust, there is nothing equal to that level. And it's like, right, but the people that went through it they're still going to have the same coping mechanism. It's not. It's scalable. It's not a situation that's isolated to a single mindset or something.
Right.
But apparently, it's a tough concept to get. Well, anyway, this is the kind of stuff that this guy Boonk is being compared to in the show. In this show, they're comparing things like people that make jokes in war-torn countries, people that are comedians in this place and this place and this place, in Korea. And then some guy in like Detroit stealing from people on Instagram stories. No, that's comedy. And it bothers me because this is the guy that directed Borat and Bruno, like intensely offensive actual comedy.
Right.
And he thought this was something more than that. Like if you actually watch it, it's pretty clear that there's not much more to this than just he's stealing from people, because there's never a joke. But you know what? One of the first things the guy says when he's leading into the interview with the guy is, one of the first things he says is, "This is comedy that scares white people." But it's not comedy. It's just theft.
Right.
Like, he tries on a pair of shoes, says, "Okay, I'm going to get them," and then tells the guy working at the place, "I'll carry him over to the counter."
Yeah.
And then as they start walking, he turns around and runs out of the store. Where was the joke?
Right.
That's not a prank, and it's not funny unless you think stealing from somebody that did nothing wrong funny.
Right.
Like that's not. There's nothing you can tell me that is going to turn that into a joke.
Right.
So yeah, it's like. So it's like, and I don't want to like get super political or anti-political or whatever, but it almost sounds like a lot of people like to use the terms like white knighting and things like that. But that's kind of what it comes across as at that point, right?
Right.
It's like you're trying so hard to justify what this guy's doing to make it comedy that you're just kind of defeating your own point. It's nowhere near what you're saying it is.
So you watch iDubbbz.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember him doing a thing on Lucic Diamond Eyes?
I think so.
So this was the guy who wanted to go out. He did a Kickstarter because he needed $50,000 to go out so he could do Jackass style pranks on people.
Okay.
And he walked into a Little Caesars Pizza. And his other big thing is he does what he calls it grind step. Okay, so it's like not dubstep, but it's grind step, but he's beatboxing it, right? So it sounds like, you know, like that.
Right.
So he walks into a Little Caesars Pizza and starts doing this basically at the top of his lungs, and he thought it was funny, I guess, and nobody else did. Yeah, because it's like there's no context to it.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't accomplished anything. You haven't made a statement with it. You're there's no punchline to the joke. It's just you're being stupid.
Right.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the kind of thing. It's like I hate it when people, because like I'm not saying I'm a comedian, right? I mean, I like the fact I have comedic elements to what I do.
Right.
My whole point is not necessarily to make people laugh necessarily; it's to entertain.
Right.
And it's hard for me to base something like that without having something to base it on. It's hard for me to construct something like that without having something to base it on.
Right.
Which is why usually I try and have some kind of point to it rather than just making jokes for the sake of making jokes. And that's the kind of thing that pisses me off, because there's people that actually do comedy that get treated like they don't do anything of value because their comedy isn't seen as the right kind of comedy.
Right.
And you have people like this guy that is trying to legitimize what Boonk is doing, which is legitimately just like reckless theft.
Yeah.
And in some cases even dangerous what he's doing. And not to mention, he had fans that would mimic him like crazy. Like there was a guy, Leon Lush, that did a video about it, and he showed footage. He went through and looked through some of Boonk's followers at the time, looked through his followers and went on their profiles, and he was finding people on their profiles that were going into stores and stealing stuff, and they walk out of the store or run out of the store. I think there was actually one where he actually walks into the store, and then grabs something out of the cabinet, walks out, no energy, no anything special. He just says outside the store that he's getting ready to do something. I mean, hey, yo, what's up, Boonk Gang? We're about to do this. Or let's go, let's get it. And then he walks into the store with the guy following with his phone. Walks over to the counter, to the refrigerator or whatever. Walks out of the store with a soda in his hand or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it, guys. Yo, Boonk Gang. Yeah.
It's like, what's
either
the point? You're just
either he paid for it as well. When I don't remember seeing any clerks in the clip, like anybody behind the counter or anything. It was almost like they stood outside waiting for everybody to go in the back, and then did it. But it was like a year and a half ago or something. I saw this last, so I don't remember for sure what actually happened on the video. But I remember that's basically what happened was the kid walked in. So either the kid paid the guy, said, "Hey, I'm gonna leave this in the fridge. I'll be right back for it."
Yeah.
Or he actually did just walk into the store, mimicking his idol, who made it look like he just did things.
Right.
And in the video, like, so they spend all this time setting up like his comedy that scares white people, all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So then they get to the point where he actually interviews him. He interviews him, and for I'm just going to summarize. He finds out there's no depth to what he's doing at all. The guy had set up this whole thing where he's got you've got this whole thing going where you're a metaphor for racism in America.
Right.
You're a crazy black man that everyone's all these white people are afraid of. And he's like, what?
Just like, no.
So you didn't put that much thought into it. Like, well, what about this and this and that? He goes into all these different things, and he's like, nah, I didn't really think about it that much. I just kind of made my videos.
Yeah.
So you would think, after his like ridiculous stretching to try and make Boonk's actions like justified, right? You would think after all that, maybe they would have been smart enough to not air that video that makes him look like a moron.
Right.
But instead they aired the video that makes him look like a moron.
Exactly.
They aired the video that makes him look like a moron to people that are paying attention, and then there's other people that are going to watch it, and they're just going to believe, oh, so Boonk is doing this and this and this. So they just basically misinformed a bunch of people as to what the guy they're watching is doing.
Right. And
they left it up like that. So right now, it's still, I believe that, you know how Netflix changes the thumbnails and everything all the time?
Yeah.
Well, as of right now, I believe it has been out for over a month now, and I'm pretty sure it still has Boonk's face on it.
Oh, wow.
So even though this is a full season of a show, for some reason, a non-comedian is on the cover of it. And in the video, like I said, the guy's like, so what about this? And he's like, so this is what we think, and this, that, and the other thing about, like, trying to justify Boonk's actions because it means something deeper. After he had already spent all that time glorifying what he did, then not only did they include it in the video when they could have just said, okay, this was not at all what we thought it was, delete. Instead, they kind of doubled down on it. And then at the end, he's like, well, I guess adding a message to what he was trying to do was more my problem than his. Okay, so you're just going to say that you overthought it? So you spent 5 minutes puffing this guy's ego up, talking about how he's got a message, and he's doing this and he's doing that, and it's a perfect metaphor for racism in America, which I still don't understand, because he's saying that how is a black guy stealing things from people in his community a metaphor?
Yeah.
How is that a metaphor for racism in America? It's not.
It is not.
It's not.
Not
hard.
even somewhat, no.
He tries so yeah, no, he's still the thumbnail. Him with his gold teeth in and a big glare off of the a big like sunburst off the golden teeth.
Yeah.
They change everybody else's thumbnails every other day. But for some reason, they don't. Even though he is not a comedian. He's just a scumbag. Jeez. I mean, this is a guy who last year also had a controversy because he Instagram lived him having sex while he was doing drugs
Why do
to his young fan base.
Why do I want to say that I remember that?
Well, I retweeted an image. I was talking about it a little bit on Twitter last year.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna make a video about it because it was like there's no way I could make a video about it and have it be okay with like YouTube's filters and all that, because
Right.
I'd have to make the video without using any audio or video of it, or else I'd have problems, right?
Right.
So I was just like, you know what? It's not worth it. The guy's clearly lost his mind. But it's like it got on my nerves a little bit because it's like all of the other stuff that already existed. If none of the other stuff that I said just now was true about him,
Yeah.
this issue from last year happened.
Yeah.
Did you somehow not find this when you were doing your research into the guy? Did you not do any research into these people at all before you went and interviewed them?
Right.
Like, what? Oh, my word.
Uh-oh.
So, it's like I'm trying to figure out how to make the video right now. I've got a clip. I've got two different... Oh. That was weird. I just got a browser error on the stream, even though I've been watching it the whole time.
I just had a I just froze.
Oh.
The game just froze like right before right before that, so
Okay, that makes sense. I guess it was like a little lag thing or something.
yeah.
But yeah, so I'm trying to make that without it being like, I mean, like there's not a whole lot of ways I could screw it up, but it's a matter of consistency
Right.
with my tone and all that. But I want to get back to doing parodies and stuff. I'm working on a parody of Shane Dawson. Because he does all his so one of the jokes is the entire time I'm gonna be wearing a robe, because every one of his videos, the interview, the investigation documentary videos, every one of his recent series, right, he has had to wear a robe at some point as he's walking around his house during the interview and stuff. And he also dresses like a slob in his house on the videos.
Yeah.
But then as soon as he leaves the house, he dresses up nice, which I always think is funny. I mean, like, I get why you would dress nice when you're going out, but I think it's odd that when you're on camera, you are still dressed wearing like dirty old tattered shirt.
Right.
If it was me personally, I don't know, I'd be wearing like the same thing I'd be wearing to go out as I'm wearing to be on camera.
Well, he's probably shooting for a persona thing there.
I think part of it's relatability.
Yeah.
So like, I think there is a reason for it, but as just a viewer, it comes off strange. I mean, when I look at it a little bit deeper, so that's one of the things I like about parody, is because if it's parody like this, I don't really necessarily have to agree with the general concept of why I think something's happening or whatever.
Right.
Because it's just portraying what people see when they're seeing what's being done. So like with him, he's making the videos, but he goes out in public dressed wearing, he'll start off his videos wearing a dirty old white t-shirt or something that's kind of ripped at the shoulders and the neck is all stretched out. And that's what people see when they see those videos.
Right.
I see that, I can rationalize why maybe he has some other reasons that would be going on, more than just surface level. Well, he just doesn't want to dress up or whatever.
Sure.
Like I could see why like relatability is obviously a huge thing on YouTube. For a lot of people, they feel you need to relate to your audience, or your audience needs to be able to relate to you.
Right.
To really build an audience. And one of the things that people have said I've heard quite a few people say about Philly Frank was that his content was very well worded and all that, but when you see visually, that's when people are going to find something to relate to a lot of times, more than what you're saying.
Right.
Visually is something anyone can grasp. So his content was always done in some cheap little place, and it was never really like a well done environment he was in, even though he could have clearly afforded it and clearly could have done things better,
right,
higher quality or whatever. He stayed low quality somewhat,
right.
like even his final videos, his final like battle videos and stuff like that, everything was like, let's do this the cheapest way possible, but in a funny way. So bad it's good almost.
Well, that's the way. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the way like iDubbbz does it too. You know, he does it. He does it with. I mean, it's not low quality, but it's not. He doesn't.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to define.
They're not produced. Let's
yeah,
put it that
it's
way.
not overproduced. Even we could say it's not over. It's because it's YouTube. They're kind of like it comes off as being kind of self-aware or underproduced. And there's a lot of people like myself that feel that it's more than just intentional. Because it can be relatable. So like if you're just recording a video in your bedroom, it feels relatable. Now when you have a super ridiculous lighting setup and your bedroom kind of looks like it's a set, because it probably is, it kind of reduces a lot of that relatability. Right. But when you're talking about generally, like with me, I'm actually working on scaling back my quality of my set and all that, because I feel like with the sound foam I had up, or if I only do green screen, I feel like it's too much. Yeah. I've scaled it back to just being the blackboard and my, a little bit of my desk is showing and the shelves in the background. Like, just not overdoing it, and it feels a little more closed in, a little bit smaller now. But I feel like it's actually for the best. I feel like it delivers a more relatable experience, I guess you could say. Yeah. So it's one of those crazy things where a lot of people don't realize how much depth can be in a lack of something. And that's the thing, is when I watch comedy, I feel like I'm doing that. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of those things now, that deeper stuff that a lot of people aren't really noticing. And it's usually when I watch something a second time, or when I really think back on something after I've watched it. Yeah. But it's interesting when I think back and I analyze that stuff. It's so much more than just jokes. Right. In a lot of ways. Like I find, like, here's one I feel weird about. Jimmy Carr. You're familiar with him, right? Oh yeah. I watched his recent Netflix special, twice actually. Yeah. And it's so weird because I've seen him on other things. I know he's a very progressive person. Yeah. But he's very anti-PC in his show. Very. And personally, I like that. Personally, I prefer anti-PC delivery, because I'm the kind of person that doesn't feel anything should be off limits within reason. Yeah. Because I feel like there is too much issue with, I'm offended, you're responsible for how I feel about things kind of mentality nowadays. Right. Especially when it comes to comedians. If you're going to see a comedian, look into their type of humor before you go. Right. Duh. I feel like that's pretty sad. Like, if you go to see a comedian live and you don't look to see what their kind of humor is, you cannot. There is no valid explanation or complaint that you can give because you're offended by what they said in your presence. Right. That's so irrational. Well, yeah, because I mean, if you want Bob Hope comedy, you need to do that due diligence. Yeah. I mean, sure. I get that. I get guys like Louis C.K. Like he showed up to that show that he did before when he tried to come back, or when he tried to start. I guess technically he didn't try and come back. He's been trying to build a set so he could try and make a comeback. So that was like an untested. That was like a trial run that he did that night that he got all that flack for. So I get why people would be bothered by something like that. Yeah. But there's so many people that actually do get offended when they go to a show where they know the kind of humor somebody has. or at least they should.
Right.
It's like it buyer beware.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly what
I will never understand that. I mean, I guess because a lot of people feel like the customer is always right type of thing, but that's not. That doesn't relate to the situation.
Well, some people think that you just should not ever say certain things, and Jimmy Carr is a perfect example of it. He just, oh, you should never ever say what, because he said a joke in that he said really offended a lot of people, and I forget what now I can't remember what the joke was, but he's like, it completely offended everybody, and then he told it, and everybody laughed and stuff, but I think it's because everybody there knew what was, what there were no surprises as far as like what he was going to do.
Touch on, yeah. Yeah, he's one of those comedians that the littlest bit of research lets you know he doesn't hold back.
Nope.
And I mean, I guess I could see why maybe if you watched him on like one of the other Netflix shows or something, because like on what was it? The Fix. I think it's called The Fix.
Yeah.
Which is very progressive. Like I remember 1 or 2 episodes where I was like, I'm center right. I don't have a whole lot of opinion that goes straight right. I'm very center because I understand the reasoning on both sides.
Right.
If it wasn't for the fact that I do have things that I feel apply to right leaning, I wouldn't even call myself center right.
Right.
I would just refer to myself as not denominational or something.
Right.
But everybody wants to look at things as bipartisan. I don't have a problem with anyone. I don't hold anything against anyone in terms of like, stupid like political things or whatever. But there are so many people that do. But I am one of those people that likes to try and grasp a whole situation more than just taking a side.
Right.
Like that's what actually bothered me about the argument I got into with my friend the other day. Is like, first of all, I made a joke about something, and then you're taking it to a whole different context than what I'm talking about here. This is completely different than where we started, bro. And he starts like taking things I said out of context, and then when I addressed him, then he's like, I didn't take anything out of context. And when I addressed him with exactly what he took out of context, he didn't respond. He just came at me about something else. And this is a guy that I've had lots of discussions with where we didn't agree, and It was fine. It was fine. There was no animosity or anything. But then he was beyond angry,
right?
Which I still don't quite understand why he went so far so fast. It was just strange. I don't understand. Anyway, I had a point to going off on that.
Was it political? Because that'll do it.
It was not necessarily political. It was a situation where there's a video going around from BBC 3 about I think the topic, if I remember correctly, the exact topic in the video itself was about the racism in porn.
Okay.
Because say a white guy only wants to watch white women in porn or something like that.
Sure.
So he's racist. That was the top. That was what they kind of seemed to be trying to get at with the direction of the conversation and everything. But one of the conversations that happened was about a guy and a girl that were both in there. The guy said that he has no interest in dating a black woman anymore. And one of the women was who was I don't know if she was black or if she was mixed race or what, but anyway, she talks about how offensive it is to her that he would say something like that. Because, you know, she's never done anything to him. Why should she be completely left out of the dating pool because of what somebody else did to him in another relationship? And while that makes some sense, we don't know what actually happened to the man. He never says what the problem with the relationship was, just that it was a very bad relationship, ended very badly, and he doesn't like the idea of having a relationship like that again, right? Now that's just one aspect to it. Not only the fact that we not know what happened in their relationship, so we'd have to assume what happened in their relationship, to have any kind of resolution to that train of thought.
Right.
On top of that, we have the fact that we're talking about whether or not he would date somebody. The way the conversation was constructed almost sounded more like, rather than being, would you consider dating somebody that was black if you talked to them and felt interested in them, and all, like, would that? It sounded more like the conversation was constructed around the idea of, would you go up to somebody? Would you pursue someone that was black? That's the way the conversation sounded.
Okay.
And that's the way he seemed to take it as well, like the guy I was talking to. And he says that because you're discriminating against an entire group of people in your dating pool, it is racist. But we're talking about a trait. We're talking about a trait: hair color, body size, whether it's height or weight, voice. These are all traits that we all have. Some are attractive to us, and some aren't. And the whole point I made repeatedly was that he's not attracted to that trait anymore. That's, he can't change that. What's he supposed to do? Go out with people he's not attracted to, just for the sake of appeasing some idea that you have? Right. He was dating somebody of this demographic before, and it didn't work out well. We don't know why, but we can't assume that he's hateful because of it.
Right.
Just like for all we know, it was a situation that was traumatizing, and he's now traumatized because of whatever happened. We don't know. There's absolutely nothing. My uncle was abused by his wife. He's not black or anything like that. She's not black or anything like that. But that it does happen. So it's very, very possible that it could have been an abusive relationship, but you don't know. You can't assume that the guy's hateful without having anything to base that on. Right. And his thing he kept coming back to is the guy in the video says, "Well, I had a relationship, it didn't go well, it ended." That's not at all what he said. Like you're simplifying everything he said.
Right.
I said here's the thing that really set him off. I said, we're talking about attraction though. You wouldn't go out and look for something you're not attracted to in a relationship and then hope you become attracted to it. That's not how people do things. That's right. Like part of it is because you're not shallow. Like I could see that. Part of it's the guy's not shallow, so part of it's not that. Part of it's that he's not shallow, and that's part of the reasoning. Right. But in this particular situation, you can't necessarily just say someone's shallow because they don't have interest in a certain trait. Because attraction is something that is important to a lot of people. If he would have said that it was a shallow thing to prioritize attraction in a relationship, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's a fair argument. You can say that. I feel it's a little strong even to say that in a way, because attraction does play such a huge factor in how we see our partners. But that's still a much more fair argument than saying he's racist, because he doesn't believe he's superior. He doesn't believe that a skin tone is superior. That has nothing to do with his argument whatsoever. Right. So there's all these extra attachments that come with what he claimed. And that's what got on my nerves. But I never really got pissed at him until he started taking things I said out of context and stuff. But yeah, so like there's plenty of things you could say about it. I was talking to somebody else about this the other day after it happened, and you could even say it's discriminatory. Yeah. it's definitely discriminatory to say you don't have interest in someone because of the color of the skin.
Right.
But you wouldn't go to the store to get ice cream you don't like, right?
Sure.
You wouldn't go to pick up you wouldn't go buy a car that's a color that you hate. That's a bad way to word it, because that is hate. But you know what I mean. It's the cosmetic. It's not something that's more than skin deep in the situation we're talking about.
Right.
And this friend of mine was assuming this whole other thing because of something small. Right. Because he doesn't and the funny thing is, he told me my personal bias was affecting me. He asks me at one point, what do you think? Would you do this, and this if you did this or whatever? I answered him, no, that's not how I work. That's not how I think.
Right.
But, and then I gave an example. I said something else. And then he says, yeah, but that's your personal bias affecting you. And it's like, no. You just asked me what I think about this current situation. Like, why personally would do in this situation.
Right.
You can't use that to explain my reality about this whole situation.
True.
Just because I would act differently in a situation does not mean that's how I feel about people that are in that situation. So he was like, and I said that's taking what I said out of context, because you specifically asked me. But he's acting like I used my experience to validate my points, which is anecdotal, which I didn't do. Which was funny because he then used anecdotal evidence himself. It was so bizarre for this guy. Just very out of character.
Well, and I truly believe that people who, I guess I'm trying to think of like a good equivalent, like I wouldn't, like this person, this guy, he probably is saying, well, I would have no interest in dating a black woman. Well, surface, yes, maybe, but that's not saying anything that's inherently racist. That's saying I wouldn't go pursue a black woman. But if he met a black woman, like on a date or something like that, or I'm trying to think of
at work or in school,
or
something
like that, and they became close because of that. Well, that might be totally different.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing, is the way the conversation was started and all. It kind of is more along the lines of what you're into, because they originally were talking about what you look for when you're looking at porn. Right? So if you're talking about what you're looking for porn, you're talking about seeking something out.
Right.
So in the context of the conversation they were having, it definitely comes off as if you were scrolling through Tinder and you see a black girl that pops up, what's your initial reaction going to be? I mean, he was speaking in generalities because they're having just a simple conversation about the situation, and then it blew up into something larger. He even said, it's not that I have a problem with people of that color. It's nothing against anyone.
Right.
It's not at all what it is. It's specifically that I had a bad experience, and
right.
That's what happened.
And that's different. That's different than saying I wouldn't date somebody of that color or that nationality or that, because
I'll be honest. I've said that before.
Yeah.
I've said before that I have no interest in dating a black girl, and it's not because there's anything against black girls. I had no interest in dating a black girl. Now, because I was speaking in generalities, I also knowingly said that, even though there are specific black women that I do find attractive, that I would consider dating. If in the time that I was dating, I would have met somebody that looked like that.
Right.
Because there's I can't think of any off the top of my head. I actually had a conversation with somebody a couple of years ago about that, because it's not common for a black guy to find black women attractive. It's just for some reason that trait just isn't attractive to most white guys, and it's not. It might be a bias of some kind, but it's not usually based on thinking they're inferior or anything. It's a matter of what personally makes my blood go.
Right.
Like that's the funny thing is physical attraction is important to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like like I said, there's a certain level of certain level of what's it called? I said it earlier and I already forgot.
Well, it's not bias, but it's preconceptions. Sometimes it's just inherent that like some people don't like redheads. Well, that's not because they think they're dumb or anything like that. They're just not interested in redheads, So
yeah. And I mean, while granted, there are probably a few people out there that were told as a joke often enough that redheads are the devil or whatever, steal your soul.
Right.
There's probably a couple people out there who are stupid enough to have carried that joke with them all these years, but it's not likely. And that's to me that almost feels like what I mean, there's a little more validity to what this guy is saying in this situation. There's a little bit more, but at the scale he's talking about, it's just like, I don't know.
Right.
And the thing that it definitely seemed to really piss him off the most because he refused to accept what I said about relating it to like going to pick something up from the store, like ice cream or something. It's like he refused to acknowledge that. He said he called that offensive, wrong, and in the context of the conversation, it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
If I had said, dating a black girl is like going to get ice cream, it's like, no, that is completely different. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about like how people get into a relationship, usually there's some pursuing that happens. You're not going to pursue something you don't want.
Right.
And the idea that you would pursue specific, and his one of the things he kept saying was like for he used it, and this is where he used his personal experience as an example. He was talking about how his wife has brown hair, brown eyes, or something, traits that he never thought he would find attractive. But he met his wife, and they were doing things and hanging out and all that stuff, and then eventually he found her attractive.
Right.
Now he cut the conversation off before I could ask him, well, did you start finding her attractive before you started actually dating her, or did you start finding her attractive after you started dating? Like, because attraction then, yes, played a part in your relationship.
Right.
Whether he wants to admit or not, he's like, and one of the big things he kept saying is, sometimes you need to learn to be attracted to something. Something along those lines, or something along those lines. And it's like that. When you're talking about something like this, like a lifelong relationship type thing, like that's one of the reasons that marriages fail all the time. Is because people go for something that's superficial and they're not able to deal with. So like if you went and you just went for somebody that like there's like one thing that I've heard as a reason that women get into relationships, that they're like there's that thing about like dating a nerd because they're smart and they'll be a success. Yeah. Like things like that, where like they settle for the smart guy, or for the guy that's unassuming, not the jock. They don't go for the jock; they go for the unassuming guy. And then later in life, they regret them because they're not wild enough or whatever.
Right.
Well, it's the same kind of thing. It's like you would have to assume that one day you'll find somebody attractive or whatever. You would have to assume that one day these things that are supposed to be present for a relationship to work are going to eventually be present.
Right.
You can't go into a relationship without having the things that make a relationship work and expect the relationship to work.
Right.
And I mean, attraction might be a superficial level of physical attraction might be a superficial level of that tier system, if you will, of what
Yep.
is important to a relationship. But that doesn't mean it's not an important one.
Right. Well, it's what I guess gets the ball rolling.
Yeah.
So you can't just say, "Oh, that's not important. Your biases shouldn't." Maybe biases shouldn't matter. And that's that's fine, but they do matter.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I kept trying to tell him. I was like, look, just because they don't matter to you or me, because like that's the thing is I wasn't sure when I met my wife. It wasn't the love at first sight thing. I told her this once before, and it kind of bothered her. But it's the truth. I just when we met, I was not sure that her and I were meant to be or anything like that. I mean,
Right.
she was the first person I ever dated, so I was especially curious, skeptical.
Right.
So it's not like this whole time I was speaking from, and I felt like I made this clear in previous conversations and in this conversation with this guy. It's not like I'm saying that attraction was super important to me from the start.
Right.
It played a factor, but it wasn't the deciding factor.
Right.
But it does play a factor, and like while it's not necessarily a factor for me and you, it's a factor for people. There are people that it's a factor for. So you saying it shouldn't be a factor to anyone is kind of just as close-minded as saying that you won't date somebody because they're a skin tone. Like saying that you can't say that,
right?
Because you don't like the way it sounds is just as close-minded, really.
Right.
So yeah, it was a little frustrating, and the thing that makes that makes me come back to this, the thing that makes it stick out so heavy in my mind, the reason I've been able to go ramble about this for 15-20 minutes now, is because he ended the conversation with like, I'm sorry, I'll stop bugging you. I thought you liked debate, not somebody just reinforcing your own ideas.
Yep.
And it's like, and he hasn't said anything to me since, and it's been a day and a half, 2 days now. And it's like,
oh wow.
You've got to be kidding me. I was not aggressive the entire time, but you've been using capitals and multiple, like, I, period, this, period, that kind of thing. Like,
right.
But you're acting like I'm the one being condescending right now? Like, this is a guy I thought was like we've had plenty of like I said, we've had plenty of conversations that weren't necessarily the most friendly appearing,
right?
But we don't not get along. We're still friends to an extent. But yeah, he may
just have to cool his jets a little bit, and
yeah.
I mean,
he was just unwilling to see where my perspective was coming from, I think.
Right.
He never seemed to yeah. And then I'll be honest, I was so pissed off when he said that I ended up, what did I end up saying? Oh, I actually had something when I was talking to the other person, though, they thought it was hilarious that I kind of ended it with, it wasn't supposed to be like a joke really, but at the same time it kind of was. I couldn't help the irony of it.
Right.
So I said, wow, you telling me my own personal bias, you telling me it's my own personal bias after asking me what I think isn't telling me my personal bias is affecting my judgment here?
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I was relating. That wasn't relating my stance to anything. It was trying to devalue what I was saying.
Right.
I don't understand why this condescending response from you only came after I used capitals and periods like you've been doing in a condescending manner the entire time we've been talking. So like I had said I don't equate beauty to quality. If anything, I think more poorly of attractive people because society has a running joke that they are stupid. That was where he was saying that was my personal bias that comes into it.
Right.
Even though I clearly am saying there, I don't. If anything, I'm the opposite of what he's saying.
Right.
So, but he kept telling me I contradicted myself and stuff. Anyway, where was it? Kind of odd that suddenly I must be against this conversation. And then I said, you and I aren't shallow people, so traits like skin tone, body type, or hair color don't bother us. But many people are superficial, and attraction means a lot to a superficial person. Some people can't get past their preferences, and there are levels to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was trying to say the whole time, is that it's not just he's racist or not racist because he doesn't want to date a black woman. We don't know the situation. We don't know his mindset. We can't say he's racist because he doesn't find black women attractive. And there's multiple times where he acted like I shouldn't be talking about attraction because it's not about attraction. When that's exactly the thing I retweeted. I said I didn't realize attraction was a choice. So you came into a conversation about attraction to not talk about attraction.
Yeah.
But I ended it with irony. Ironically, it's not a black and white situation.
Hmm.
I mean, that part might have actually pissed him off more.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't supposed to necessarily be a joke, but it served the purpose of what I was trying to say.
Right.
Although almost everybody I've talked to about this thought that was hilarious that I said that. Because it was such a perfect thing to say in that moment.
Well, you know, if you're gonna play the fool, then come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just so, like I said, I think the thing that's bothering me the most is because it's somebody I've had so many conversations with, and they're always rational. And then this time, because I used an analogy that they didn't necessarily agree with, even though it was a fair analogy to use, because I wasn't talking about a person's character or anything. I was talking about something superficial, something small, right, and how you would perceive it when you were interacting with it. But you know, whatever. I'm trying to get past it. Clearly, I'm not quite there yet because I went
struggling.
That's why initially when I mentioned it, I only briefly mentioned it, and then when you came back to it, I was like, I'm gonna try not to get too deep into this, and then I did it anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I really wish I would have taken it to DMs with him, but it probably wouldn't have ended any differently. If anything, it would have probably been worse.
Yeah. Listen, I gotta go. I'm falling asleep. It's like 10 o'clock here, and
yeah.
I'm like falling out now.
I gotcha.
As I do after 9 o'clock, I start to, because I'll be up at like 5. That's when I normally get up now. So.
Gotcha. Early riser.
Yes. So, well, it's been nice talking to you, though.
Same.
I will probably stream tomorrow too. So.
Oh, cool. I don't think I have any plans, so I'll try and hop on.
Alrighty. Huli, talk to you later.
Later.
Bye.